Welcome back to the Trenchless Table, guys. My name is Lee. I've got Cole, and I've got Dustin with me today. And this is just a catch-up boys episode, I think. We're not going to bring anybody in with us. We're going to talk state of the business.
The boys are back in town, boys, something like that.
Now I'm going to have to copyright that. Thank you very much, Cole. Next time, be off tune a little bit. So, no, we're just, we want to catch up on some business. We want to talk a little bit about polyurea in the news. And we're going to get this podcast out fast before the news cycle moves on from it.
Polyurea is hot in the news right now. I have not seen so much polyurea action in the news since Obit came to town. How about that, huh? Yeah. Here at the Trenchless Table, you heard it first. There hasn't been this much excitement about polyurea since Obit. What do you think?
I wish it was in more of a, hey, this is a great product. I'm so glad that they're using it because it's the only thing that'll work for that.
I think the logical heads, though, that see whatever news story speculation are able to see a little bit past the weeds and understand that no matter how the project came to be, like, this is the product that's going down, and these contractors seem pretty serious with it. It's probably for good reason. It's probably a good product. And then, as we know, as polyurea guys, polyurea users here, as contractors, we know it's a good product, and we know it's a solid application for it. It's going to, if it was seeping through the concrete's porous.
Yeah.
And now we lay poly down. What's it not going to do? Seep through the poly. So, but yeah, it's funny to watch the divisiveness. I don't even know if that's the right, strong enough word.
That's 100% right word for this.
Is it strong enough? It's a crazy time.
It's divisive in the fact that we're fixing a problem.
Yeah.
This is the age of our infrastructure. The grading for the United States just came out again.
Oh, yeah.
Grade C, infrastructure of the U.S. Last time I checked, everybody believes that the United States of America is the best country in the world and should be at the top of the charts everywhere. And so they're just trying to fix a problem.
C's were good for Cole in school. Don't get me wrong.
C's get degrees, baby.
C's were great for Cole.
Get degrees.
But I'm with you. I don't want that to be our standard across the board. No matter what the political climate is, what the international climate is, we still have to take care of the homeland.
Yeah. And C, creosote, right? We have a piece of wood soaked in creosote that was drinking water approved at one point in time. And so you can use a lot of stuff and call it what you want. But at the end of the day, the goal is, how do we move the pendulum forward? And the divisiveness of this reflective pool, it's going to look sweet when it's done.
Yeah, it's already filling up. As of like yesterday, Sunday. Wait, are we on Monday? Yeah. So Sunday the 7th, there was only a little bit left on the edge, and everybody was like, "You need to get there to see the flag blue color before it gets filled up." It became a whole thing.
Yeah.
But if you guys don't know what we're talking about the Lincoln Memorial Project reflecting pool. And, it all started out with people saying that they were just painting it with a pool coating, and that wasn't going to work. Well, diving into it more, I think we saw it on the plane coming back from Germany from EFAT. So we were all, hopped up on all the good stuff from EFAT. And it was like, man, this is awesome. Polyurea is going to blow up here, and we're right in it. And look at these projects. This is going to open up for everything. But then, it all started, and people were saying it was a pool coating. No. Much stronger than a pool coating.
Well, the contractor, like if you go search it right now, there's that contractor soundbite, and they called it what we would call it as contractors. It's a secondary containment.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it needs to be treated as such, and with an industrial coating, like a severe service coating of, what was it, Rhino 5000?
Rhino 5000.
Shout out, I suppose. But that's a potable water polyurea coating.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, to us, it just makes sense. To the masses and all the divisiveness, sure, but it's going to do its job. And what the track you're tracking down is, what else next can polyurea do to not just fix our current state of our infrastructure, but put it on track for many, many years to come?
Absolutely. Other than cleaning that thing, I don't really know what there's not much they're going to have to do to it other than clean it.
Yeah.
And now that it's got a good coating system in it, it's going to move with the structure. It's flexible by design on purpose. So it's not going to crack and start to exfiltrate millions of gallons of water, which is another natural resource that people are complaining about in other news elsewhere. And so if we can stop losing a resource and it works.
Talk to me on potable water real quick. For those that don't know, we're contractors. We know what potable water is. So a liner that is potable water safe or graded, what does that mean?
Yeah, so it's either potable water or potable water.
Potable. Jeez.
You gotta depends on who you talk to,
Tomato,
right?
tomato.
Yep, reading.
Yeah.
So potable water is drinking water safe. It is generally followed with a NSF approval for the National NSF.
Deer to headlights. I don't actually know it either.
I'll search it up. You keep going. I'll search it up.
NSF.
So it's usually followed by NSF 61 drinking water safe standard, and that standard is it's a federal standard. It is set by the government that says this is safe. And so it can be in a tank, it can be in water pipes, it can be in the service coming into our home. So from the fountain to the water main, from the treatment plant, it all has to be NSF approved.
National Sanitation Foundation.
National Sanitation Foundation. NF61 is the number that we use for potable water. And so AWWA, which is the American water standard, follows that NSF approval across the board. So everything that we take into our home has to hit that approval for potable water, which is drinking water. And so with this coatings and other coatings that are potable water approved, we're just trying to defend and protect the infrastructure from future decay and problems. And by that, we're taking an old concrete structure, such as the reflecting pool, and now you're not going to drink out of it, but you're taking old concrete structures that people do drink out of, or pipes and plumbing, and giving it a new life. And so using polyurea, I'm excited about it.
But it would be important for this particular project just because animals, people probably do end up in it every now and then.
Yeah.
So it is safe just in case.
Absolutely. There is no contaminants that are going to be in it other than people's dirty feet.
Wash your feet.
Keep your feet clean.
Be clean.
Yeah, but I think this is neat because, and to talk more about polyurea and just infrastructure rehab in general, this shows it can be whatever color you want it to be, really.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to match a cement color, perfect, we can do that. It's such a cool thing to learn how polyurea gets used in all of these different applications. This one just happened to make world news.
Yeah. And one that my head always goes to, because I never really cared about taxes growing up. Like most kids, right?
Yeah.
But I really probably didn't care about them too much, even as a young adult, probably admittedly until like last year or so when I started really paying attention to life as it is. You can cut that part out. But what I'm getting to is
why are they coming after you?
How
They haven't found you yet.
The taxpayer savings, the money savings that these construction projects provide.
Correct.
So I'm just curious. I don't know what the number was, but if that water is leaching into that concrete and they're constantly refilling it, where I'm getting to is even put a number on it, right? Yep. How many gallons of water were we losing? And then you're refilling it constantly. There's a dollar amount attached to it.
Correct.
Right? So
and I was looking up how much they said it was. It said the original basin built in the 1920s was resulting in an estimated loss of 500,000 gallons of water per week.
Ooh.
That's 30 million gallons of potable water per year just to keep it filled.
Yeah, it's a no-brainer.
That's a number.
Wow.
So by the time you take that and divide that number by the K gallon cost,
They are pretty high.
Yeah.
Probably $8.
Probably. And so you look at how many thousands of dollars that cost. That's a number.
Yeah, and it said it was leaking through the cracked grout and the porous stone.
Yeah. And so the problem with it isn't just the pool, right? It's not just the pool. It's the surrounding area that starts to decay over time. And so, sure, we could have done nothing. It's fine. I mean, it was empty anyways, and it wasn't leaking because it just, well, if it did leak, it was just rainwater, and it looked terrible. And so we could leave that as an eyesore, which in the divisiveness of some of this is the part that really kind of chaps me a little bit, is people would rather things look like crap than fix it and make it look nice and make it do what it's supposed to do. And so we could have just left it. Fine. Leave it empty. It's not costing any water. 7 million gallons of water that we're not putting into something. Or at some point in time, people love that pool and the Lincoln Memorial and the way that it does reflect, and it will reflect in the future again. And so we could have just left it and done nothing, or we have to fix it right because it's going to continue to erode the concrete or the sub base underneath that. And so the cost today to fix it is less than if we if they didn't fix it right, the cost tomorrow is going to be more than it was today.
Yeah, it wouldn't have been a reflecting pool. It would have been a sinkhole.
Correct. And we've seen those
Yeah,
because
we
that
have.
happens in sewers when they don't fix them in time and it swallows up houses. Now there's no houses around there, but yeah, you could have had to go in there and jackhammer all of that concrete out and start over. Or like it's the best option. I don't see a better option. And that's just coming from a polyurea guy. Yeah, sure. I'm kind of biased.
Right.
But if you think about coatings, the intended purpose of that particular structure, it needs to have some flexibility. And you can't put a geomembrane in there. That would have looked terrible.
Like a non-bonded, you're
Correct.
saying? Yeah.
That wouldn't look good. So like even I say a geomembrane because like a pool coating is a vinyl liner, and that wouldn't have worked in that big of a structure. So when you go down the list of things that could possibly fix that structure, the list gets very, very small at the end. And I think they made the right decision, even though it wasn't OBIC.
Well, and yeah.
Better luck next time, I guess.
Next time, guys.
If you think about it, I would probably have chose OBIC, but it's a good product.
Yeah. And we wouldn't have made it orange.
No.
But I will say, so I think one of the high things on their list on the reason they chose this product, at least from the research that I could find, was that they had a tight deadline for getting it done. And polyurea is really good for that spray applied application. Now, you could see they did a really good job. Like I think the positive about all of the coverage on this was you could see the whole process. I mean, you saw their prep. You saw what they were rolling on a primer. And then they came back through and they were spraying. And that's the thing about the polyurea product is you spray it on and it's tack free in seconds and you're ready to rock and roll right after that. I mean, that's why we use it in wastewater structures so we don't have to keep roads shut down so fast or so long.
Yeah, and they not on purpose showed the durability of that polyurea provides in all of this hubbub because they're walking on it, they're having these ceremonies, they're driving on it.
Yeah.
They're driving gators and whatever else, turning wheels on this product that you would think it's a pool liner that's going to tear on up. No, it's not. It is designed for longevity. So I thought that was it's a cool piece of the whole puzzle that probably no one's realizing either is like, it's pretty durable, I guess.
Yeah.
So.
No, it's going to look great. It's kind of one of those things that I'm going to have to go see it now.
Yeah. Yeah. Although it's going to be underwater now. You're going to have to put your head in.
Stick my arm in.
Yeah.
Touch it.
No, but that's from we talk a lot about what would you do. I think you asked right before this, what would you do in marketing with that?
Yeah. What kind of marketing stuff could we do?
Oh my gosh. I would have loved it. You know, they say no publicity is bad publicity. And I do think from this standpoint, I think the contractors did a great job. Mm-hmm. So I've seen interviews where people came right up to them and asking them questions and they answered all of their questions. You know, they were very transparent about what they were using. They were transparent about the reason they were using it. So top notch to them. I mean, that was really great. That's exactly what I would have informed our guys. I do think, you know, it gets hard though, because it was so divided on, you know, support versus not support on this project, that you have to almost media train the crew that's going to be there. You know, don't, you guys that are spraying and doing the work, don't talk to anybody.
Yeah.
Let the foreman handle it. Let the head guy on charge. I mean, the owner of that company was on site the entire time.
Yeah.
Which probably in our case, we would have had the high profiles, like on site the entire time.
I think you got to I'm not media trained either.
We know.
But if I say something stupid, it's my fault.
Yeah.
And I do that plenty. I say plenty of things that I shouldn't. But it would be very difficult to have everybody ready for that profile. And so kudos to the contractor. I think he's handled it well. He's had a lot of backlash and a lot of trouble against him, and people's opinions about him or his company, and it's just not needed. At the end of the day, if we're worried about it's a high profile, you can see it. But there's a lot of hubbub about this project when there's a laundry list of things I would like to, I can't say it on this microphone, but there's a laundry list of things that I think are a little bigger, higher profile that maybe the media should be worried about. And maybe they should be worried about wasteful spending and chasing down bad dudes. So
yeah, because no matter what, so that was one of their complaints, right? The spike in cost. Okay, so that's what was talked about. I don't know the ins and outs of it. I don't know what was announced, what wasn't announced. I did not do. But to me, it doesn't matter essentially what the end cost is, because the cost to do a full replacement of that would have been hundreds of millions of dollars.
Correct. And we could probably bake it back down to how much do the coatings cost, but I know they're doing concrete repairs, they're doing pumps, they're doing piping, they're doing electrical. There's other stuff. The polyurea is the prominent thing to talk about. But when you talk about construction of this magnitude, they're not just coming in and coating the thing. They're doing all of the stuff. And there's concrete replacement happening, but they're not showing that part. They're not showing the pumps and the other equipment that goes into it. So the stuff that has added up isn't just all baked into that coatings cost. Now that's getting the black eye, but my guess is it's probably just an average project with extra scrutiny cost.
Yeah.
They've got to protect themselves now. I'm not saying it's probably not more expensive than doing a wastewater treatment plant, but it's I don't know. Kudos to the contractor.
Yeah, process
I think he's
is
handled
still
it well.
the same, right? Like the whole process, their prep is probably pretty identical to how they would have done an application out of plant, a water or sanitary plant. I go back to it's like how you talk to your teenage daughter or son when they'd come home and they throw their bag on the floor or they'd kick their shoes across the garage or something like that. We take care of our stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Well, those are my old shoes. We take care of our stuff. And so I all the chatter on wasteful spending or anything like that, I think for me personally, it just boils down to we take care of our things. Mm-hmm. And knowing what I know about polyurea, that it will last the 40 to 50 years, I think, for the brand that it is out there. That's the marketing that they're putting out there. That makes sense for how much water that it would be losing if it was still online or still in service. Yeah. But if you're wondering what I would do as a marketing guy, it'd be a nice morning shot panning over the water, right? Lee Greenwood coming in, just a little in the background. If tomorrow, I
miss our Lee Greenwood days.
I still do them up there.
Yeah.
About every other Friday or so, I just hit the Lee Greenwood on YouTube and started about 2 volume and ended about 102 by the end of it.
Yeah.
And I let everybody know that we're still here.
Yes.
That's what I would do.
Yeah.
I would open it up with
Absolutely.
some Lee Greenwood and just pan around the stoic, beautiful waters of this reflection pool. And that'd pretty much be the video.
I think it's viral.
Yeah.
I agree. I think that's a great idea. So we'll end it with this. It was not a pool painting. It was not pool coating.
Not pool coating.
It's much stronger, going to last much longer. And as a taxpayer, I am so happy we did that project.
Yeah.
100%, hands down.
There's a lot of other bad things that we're using money for. So
Yep.
That project is going to last a long time. And when, because Cole's the youngest here with the youngest kids, when Cole's grandkids go see the reflecting pool, probably Ria's still going to be doing his job.
Yeah. And hopefully OBIC will be on another project somewhere.
I'm sure it will be. I mean,
Yeah.
I have no doubt.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about what we have going on. So we shout out to other contractors, but let's talk about a little bit. Let's open the door from behind the scenes. You know, that we haven't done this type of a check-in since we really started the podcast. So it's been, from a podcast standpoint, really good. We've had some really great people on, I think. There's still some stuff coming up that we have filmed that's in edit right now on the SNS side. One of the things that we realized is that, much like a carpenter, our house was the last one to get good carpentry done.
Yeah.
So we put on the back burner SNS and also ART. We still have to film an ART podcast. We haven't done that yet.
Which is how we kind of started with the Trenchless Table, right? 'Cause we are the Trenchless Table guys. And how can you be fired up about Trenchless technology if you don't talk about your own two companies? But there's been so many good people that have come on just talking about the trades, because that's a pet project. That's a passion project that I think that is, last week talking about it again with the teachers and the educator boot camp, which I think the educator boot camp's great. The only thing we miss on that educator boot camp, because one of the things here, as you guys know, and maybe our listeners don't know, the educational piece about what we do is core in what we do and our beliefs. And I think everybody understands we've got to talk about the trades and the next generation and how to get them into the trades. So, I don't know, how many tours did we do last year? 10, 15?
Probably between educators and students coming through, I would say.
yeah.
That's
Yes.
that's a conservative number, yeah.
So top of mind is what we try to keep, just trades as a whole. And I think one of the things about the Trenchless Table is, yes, we want to talk about directional drilling and pipe bursting and coatings and rehabilitation, but we want to talk about trades as a whole. And so having the educator boot camp here last week was a great reminder. And one of the things that I think we want to push for next in that is, how do we get a guidance counselor boot camp? I want to see guidance counselors in here. I want to see not the 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade teachers. I want to see teachers and educators that are in the trench with the 14-year-old kid going, school sucks. I'm just here. Or the A student that plays 3 sports, maybe 4 sports because he can dual sport, but it's the stud. It's the number one student athlete that gets good grades also, that they get good grades because they're dedicated and they're focused and hyper-focused on everything they do, so they just work hard and they do it all. But maybe college isn't for them also. And maybe it is, but they need to be focused on what they want to go into. And, you know, we hear it all the time. What are you doing when you get older? I'm being an engineer. What kind of engineer? An engineer. Okay. There's 700 engineers out there. What type?
Because I'm good at math.
Yes.
That is the next part. But off of that, like, you want the decision makers or people that are in the room with the decision makers. Decision makers are students who hardly have a prefrontal cortex that is fully developed, right?
Right.
But if you're able to educate, hey, guidance counselors who are in the room with those decisions, those conversations, can we have an hour of your time where we'll cater lunch? Because we just want to talk about the trades. We want to talk about the opportunity. We want to talk about the growth that we've seen young dudes and young women have just at this small company, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like in the last, 27 years? Is that SNS?
Yeah.
So 27 years young of
Yep.
a very small company in the scheme of the world. We've seen life-changing alterations to men and women over the years.
Absolutely.
And you can say small company. We just learned that in order to become a medium-sized company, you have to have 500 employees in our county.
We're on our way, but
500 employees.
That's a lot.
So anything under 500 employees is still considered a small company.
Small business.
Isn't that crazy?
This doesn't feel very small here, but yeah.
But
it
you're
is
exactly right.
in the scope of it, I guess.
And you're right, because the guidance counselors should have a direct line to companies like ours, to Spangler, to somewhere else that says, hey, I've got somebody that might be right up your guys' alley, because they know, they will know what we're about. And so to help those kids who can't make those decisions on their own, or even have parents that would be willing to help them into that next transition in life. Really, kids are influenced by very few people in their lives. It's parents, it's coaches, it's teachers.
Yeah.
And really, that's it.
Right. And then culture.
And culture, yeah. And so without the guidance counselors making it feel like a fallback plan, because that's how it was presented to me when I was in school, was if you don't go to college, you could always do this. But it's not a fallback plan.
You could just.
Yeah, you could
just word.
Yeah, you could just. But it's not a fallback plan. It shouldn't be presented that way. And I think the teachers are getting on board with that.
Yeah.
And I think the students that we've talked to are seeing it as a lifestyle, are seeing it as a way to provide. Because the way that we set this stuff up is that we show them what they could be. They went on site with Alan at SNS and saw his lifestyle, like got to know more about him. So yeah, I think that bringing guidance counselors in would be a no-brainer. How far did you get on that conversation?
We're on, I think we're on first base.
Okay.
I think we've got on base with it. Fortunately tonight, we have a school board meeting, so going to be brought up again, because I think it's something that we have to continue to talk about. And I ask every year, probably at least once a year, to somebody in a coach, guidance counselor, somebody that I have a relationship position, to say, do you know anybody that would be just a shop hand, a junior work release, senior work release, somebody that would come in, and yeah, it's menial. I need somebody to take out the trash, and I need some sweeping of the floors and doing stuff like that. But at least you get to see what's going on, and you get a little bit of world experience. And so, yeah, you might start out sweeping the floors, but all of a sudden you've got a credit card and on your way to Indianapolis to pick up a tool or a part, and you've never left Northwest Ohio, and we just say, here, go, I need this. And there's kind of no questions asked. Okay. And then a week later, you get a call from the dad that goes, he's never drove that far by himself. Okay. Well, he had to call me and ask me how to put fuel in the truck. I was like, okay.
Now he knows.
Now he knows, right? Life skills. You're welcome.
Now he knows.
But when I make those calls, most people go, I can't think anybody. I don't have anybody in the top of my mind that would be a good fit for that. Well, there's 100+ students in Brian Jr. class, probably 130. And there's 130 in the senior class. We can't think of one. Come on. There's somebody there that could benefit from this. We're not focused on it. We're not paying attention. We're still have a little bit of that mindset of we're here to help get them to college. And I think we got to do some better work on it. And maybe it's the marketing part of, we're going to send these kids to college. I'm going to go be an engineer. Okay, I'm going to go in. Been blessed. My parents can help me with $10,000 a year, but I still am going to have, $60,000 conservatively in debt coming out. I'm still driving the same old car I had. I've got a girlfriend, and we want to get in a house. Well, we can't afford a house. We got to get an apartment. It's a 1-bedroom, whatever. And I've got a good job as an engineer now, making $70,000 a year. And I need a car. I need a house. I need utilities. I need all of these things. And I want to start a life together. And what am I supposed to do with this debt and start a life? And so we've set these kids up for failure from day one by pushing them all to college. And the jobs they're coming out with aren't jobs that are going to get them premium dollar most of the time. And if it is, it's a long slog to get to that premium dollar. Now, I'm not saying an engineer's they're not going to make 70 grand for the rest of their life. They're going to make good money.
Right.
Yep.
But starting out, they don't know anything. They got to get there. And so you could go into the trades and make 70 grand in an electrical contractor. Show up.
Yep.
Be ready to work. Put a tool belt on, put a tape measure in your pocket and a pencil on your ear, and show up. Be on time and learn.
So I think part of that's on the schools for presenting it that way, but I think the other part of it's on the businesses. There's no reason that businesses have to require a college degree for some of the positions that they require a college degree for. You know, we purposefully don't do that here in our businesses, but entry-level accounting, entry-level anything, it doesn't matter. Sales, marketing, why are we requiring a 4-year degree?
The thought process is that I've been told is, well, it shows you've been dedicated to something. You've been dedicated to partying for 4 years. That's what you did. You took a 4-year vacation before life smacked you in the mouth. Thank you, parents. You forgot to send a thank you letter to your parents.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think businesses across the board could do better too on, okay, you want to require some sort of degree for management, whatever. Makes sense, just because I do think that from a college perspective, at least some of the courses that I took were good for giving me ideals on how to manage, how to understand numbers, how to balance the accounting books, how to do all that stuff. That's fine.
There's stuff in there that's good.
Yes.
It's the fluff and the filler that it gives them a well-rounded education. Bull crap. Just give them what they need. They want to go to be an accountant. Give them numbers. Anything outside of things that are factual and numerical related.
What's that boil down to? 18 months?
Correct.
You know, not 48.
Correct.
You know what it boils down to? An associate's degree.
Well, and they still make you take a bunch of crap for an associate's degree too.
So that's crazy. Like that's literally what I thought an associate's degree was supposed to be, was literally just get the stuff you need to get in the door.
No, I have an associate's degree from a local community college just down the road, about 15 minutes east. Mm-hmm. And the classes that I remember about are accounting, finance. Sure, I could have done better in composition 1 and 2. Not a strong suit. Thank you, Chat GPT. Right? But there's a workaround for everything.
Especially today.
And so you can get by with the basics of your job specific. You went into marketing. If you took all of your marketing classes and put it into a compacted education, 18 months.
Can I keep my bowling class though? Just
That was probably a blast.
it was awesome.
Jovi went bowling for the first time on Saturday. Little 4-year-old. First time she grabs the ball. Somebody hands it to her. She didn't. It wasn't prefaced. She wasn't told.
Yeah.
She goes, drops it.
Yeah. I did. To me, it was didn't really count towards my GPA though. I mean, I did really well in it.
I took a class down to the Defiance College. Funnest class I took, pottery.
Yeah. See,
Spinning pottery is fun.
you know,
But for $1,800 to
Yeah.
spin pottery, are you curious? I got some mugs on the counters downstairs. Hold pens now.
yeah.
Not $1,800 cool.
But yeah, I would say probably 18 months. And actually I think the most beneficial thing for the college now that they've really done is made internships mandatory for a lot of the degrees. And I think that's, when I was coming through, that wasn't mandatory. And so I actually never did an internship. When I graduated, I just went straight into being an assistant.
Yeah. I talking to a younger dude, Toledo student, going for optometry. He's interning at a place here in town and then a neighboring town. And I'm asking him about it. I know some of the people he's interning with. I'm kind of poking the bear and got him to just say, man, I'm learning so freaking much.
Yeah.
He's like, these people are awesome. I'm learning so much. And it wasn't like, oh, it's confirming everything that I was just taught the last couple weeks or months in the prior semesters. It was like, this place is teaching me so much. Yeah, because you're in it.
And I don't understand how my marketing degree still would even count towards me getting a job based off of that degree. Like marketing changes overnight. Like
That's
the landscape.
exactly why we hired you, because you had a degree. Isn't it hanging on your wall?
No, it's not.
Is it hanging on your wall?
No, you know what I
got
have?
nothing on your wall. You got a new office and there's nothing.
I have two things hanging on my wall. I've got a Spider-Man picture that my son drew, and I've got a manhole picture that my daughter drew. But no, I don't know. The landscape changes so much, and especially in the last few years, like AI has literally changed my world and flipped it upside down. And
for good or bad?
To be determined.
I think
both.
Yeah, but honestly, both, because I think that there's going to be a pendulum swing back towards authenticity here soon.
Yeah.
Because I think that people jumped on the AI bandwagon and were like, all of my marketing is just going to go through AI. Chat, make everything. Claude, make everything. But there's like a disassociation with what the company, like the real feel of a company. And I'm pretty big on that. Like I'm pretty big on making sure people understand who we are, what we do, making the guys on the ART side and SNS side, making the guys the focus of what we do, because that's what separates us from everybody else is who we have on the crews and their type of work. And, end of the day, guys, like our profitability, our next job comes from you guys. It doesn't necessarily come from sales all the time. It comes from you guys doing a great job and making the company look good.
Yeah.
So I like to tell that story.
Yeah.
Chat doesn't know that.
No. When we look at our installers for the OBIC side of things and kind of go into the what's going on, like if you look at everybody that's out there with the growth of some of these companies, the Midwest Infrastructure and the Summit and the Veridian, and you see they're buying trucks, advanced linings, building trucks, everybody is growing, going, and you look at their pedigree, it's exactly like we're talking about here. Some of them have education, and some of them have just been gritty. Coming back from Germany, we talked about that a minute ago. EFAT show was phenomenal. And I don't know, you could probably put everybody that's connected to that coding space someplace in a thimble for the ones that have really got that education, I would think, would be my assumption. A thimble out of a 5-gallon bucket is probably the number of people that have it, which is a testament to you just got to show up and be interested and work hard and know that I can find my way through this industry somehow. It just happens to be a coatings or a directional drilling or a pipe bursting company. The thing isn't necessarily what we should focus on. What we need to focus on is I can find my way to be successful, provide a good living, take care of my family, build for the future, add legacy options, and the means to get there, you got to be interested in it, but it doesn't have to be the love language, so to speak. And maybe it does for some people, but
I think people are told today it does.
It
I don't think, at least from my observation of psychology, huge psychology diploma on my wall.
What grade did you get in that?
Oh, I don't know. I have no idea. I don't have a diploma. I don't have any of that. But my observation is we've all been told we're supposed to feel a certain way, showing up to work, waking up in the morning, showing up to work, leaving work, all these things supposed to feel. At the end of the day, I don't want to leave my kids in the morning. At the end of the day, I don't want to go to bed on Sunday night. You know what I mean? Not in a bad way. I come to work and show up and do my thing, but that's how it should be. This narrative that's out there on social media that your job should provide you all of these things intellectually and spiritually and emotionally. No.
Right.
You should have a general interest in it, be able to do it adequately, and it should provide you a living. That's the simplicity that I think maybe guidance counselors or wherever the miss is, I'm not sure, but I think that's, if I could boil down what we're trying to talk about of providing a solution, that's the solution we're trying to provide is go to work.
We do this because we have that.
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to.
And we do this and it enables that.
Yeah.
We get to have that. not just we have it, but we get to have it. Like,
And we're
it allows it.
not against college. We're not against, so
No,
educators don't come after us. Like, we're not against it. We just
50% of the kids.
we
That's
just
what I'm for.
we just think it needs to be fast tracked. We need to take the BS out of it. Just put them on a course that sets them up for success. Give them their entry level skills, and let them figure it out.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the biggest thing that we see with young people is, can you problem solve?
Yeah. And it's always top of our mind because we just hosted teachers, right? Yeah. We'll go on about our day. We probably won't talk about this again until the next teacher round again, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But
Dustin's talking about it tonight.
Well, yeah, you got a chance tonight. And
do you need us to bring our stuff and support?
We could. You could get 3 minutes for public participation, but you didn't sign up.
Dang.
That's okay.
Dang it. Okay, so
what else is going on?
Well, that's actually a really good segue into something that I think we need to do on this podcast moving forward. Now, whether it's going to be this season or maybe it's a next season thing, I think we need to put a little focus on young entrepreneurs.
Let's do it.
Because we had a couple in here. Now they're close to home. So Dustin, I don't know, it's in his blood or something, but he has passed it down to the next generation. His son Blake and a friend of theirs, Kaysen, has started a little business, and we helped them with their first marketing video the other day. And I don't know, like, do we spoil what the surprise is, or we just let the boys come on and talk about it? Because they're going to come on.
They're going to come on, and Harry and Lloyd, they want to come on too. Harry and Lloyd's kind of like Frick and Frack. It's the next generation behind them, and I'm not real sure what we're going to get out of those two, but it'll be comical. Hopefully, they don't just clam up, because the two of them together are really funny. But no, it's fun to see them excited about trying something, and yes, we have these conversations a lot at home, and probably because I'm a psycho about.
That's
business.
my question: is where did this little idea come from?
I think it was kind of Kaysen's idea, and he was going to do mowing and do this and do that, and I'm always pushing. Anybody I hear like, hey, I got this idea. Okay, did you start yet? Okay, did you start yet? And I'm part of the UT Business Center up in for the University of Toledo with other entrepreneurs and family-run business center. And every time one of those people come to the table, except for one recently, I was surprised at myself. I said, I'm not confident in your decision. But anybody else that comes with a glimmer of, I think I should try this, and it's always, have you started yet? Because we learn in the failure. We don't learn in the success. So, yeah, you're 14 and 12. Try it. Try to go out and do some door-to-door sales. Go out and throw out some flyers and get over the uncomfortableness of walking up to doors and having a conversation with, hi, Mr. Andrews. Could I stutter through it? You're 14. Yeah. You're going to stutter.
Yeah. They're not expecting you. They're not expecting a presentation.
It's not polished.
Yeah.
It's just, it's the educational practice. It's just like, success on the soccer field doesn't happen in the game. You don't get just lucky to shoot the goal at the game. It's the thousands, right? Mm-hmm. We know the theory of 10,000 shots gets you where you're going to be, but it's just practice.
And at that age, you get a little bit of grace. They're not, your win percentage is going to be great. So, my daughter brought in beef sticks one time, and she cleaned
Did she
house.
go 10 for 10 on
Oh,
sales?
man, she cleaned house.
Yeah.
Because, and I told her, I said, hey, if you're going to come in and sell, you're doing it. Because she was like, Dad, can you just take my paper?
No.
In? I was like, no, absolutely not. And I said, you better be dressed up too. Because guess what? They're not going to turn you down if you come in there looking polished and ready to go, and you put some effort into your presentation. And I even went through a little sales spiel with her, saying, hey, you know what you need to say, especially to Dustin. Yeah. You say, you ever been hungry and not had a snack in your drawer?
Yeah.
And you kick it off with that.
Yeah.
She failed multiple times when she was in here, but it was so funny watching them because everybody just stood there and waited for her to get done with her presentation.
And they got their wallet out and said, I'll buy some.
Yep, right then and there. So I think for young people, it's huge. And there's a program that I got to be part of last year. Christy took me to, called the Amazing Shake.
Yeah, Fairview does that.
Oh my gosh, such a cool program. Getting these young kids ready. That fourth graders, I think, is the age group that I was in, and now Brian is looking at bringing it to the school there too. And what a great program for young people to go through.
Yeah.
I don't want to credit it to COVID because we always credit everything bad to COVID, but there was some sort of happening in that time frame of those 2019s, 18s. Maybe I wasn't a seasoned parent at the time, so I wasn't probably paying attention, but I think we all got so lax and so like just easy route with our kids across the board. And now the pendulum's coming back the other way of dads in our generation that are like, no, it's going to be hard, but you're going to order your own food at the restaurant. Like that's a ticket at my house. Like you're going to go and sell your own things. Like at least we're always talking about the changes that need to be having. I want to celebrate a change that is happening, not just at the table, but from what I'm seeing from this generations of dads that are kind of trying to restart this pendulum shift of kids that are acting like they're so incompetent. You're not.
There's a group that's post high school, post college age, and I won't like name the exact age, but there's a 6-year age gap in there that they're just
scary
knuckle draggers. Like what happened to the whole group of kids that are? I'm sorry, they're idiots. They don't have
until they're not.
They just don't have it.
Yeah.
And you're an adult. You got to make adult decisions and be able to order your own food and shake a man's hand or a woman's hand and look people in the eye and have conversations. Sorry.
No, but I that's right. And but I do think that pendulum is swinging back.
Do you know why? Do you know why? Uncle? Because people like us who are in business right now trying to hire people coming in, and those are the people that we're getting. We're like, our kids can't be like that.
Yeah. Oh, no way. No way. Not doing it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You got to be better than this.
Yeah.
How many school events have we gone to and we're like, oh my gosh, we've got to get better.
Yeah.
It does start though at home with I guess you asked the question, where does it start? It starts with, hey, you don't sit down shaking a man's hand. Like, and I will make Blake shake a man's hand twice or 3 times till he gets it right. And whoever, they know that it's a training experiment, it's educational for Blake to do it, and they're respectful. If I have Blake, hey, why are you sitting down? How do we handle this situation? And I appreciate the person on the other side because they know what I'm trying to accomplish here, and they wait, and they'll do it twice, 3 times, whatever, out of respect to me, maybe out of respect for what we're trying to train the kids for. But Bodie's 7. This is a process. We're in it right now at home. This is how you handle, look in the eye, shake your hand. Hi, my name's Blake. Hi, my name's Bodie. Nice to meet you. What is your name? We practice these things. Like when you brought your daughter in, Mr. Schlochter. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You got my attention. You said Mr. Schlochter. Not that she needs to be formal like that, but it's respect, and you're teaching her that.
Yeah, and I've been teaching Brody, my son, the power shake. So when you go to shake, you pull them in just a little bit. Like show them.
And twist.
It's my.
Bring them into the belly.
Welcome to my world. Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
Just to give them that little thing.
You didn't teach them like a daddy's home terminology or
No,
something?
nothing like that.
Okay, good.
Nothing like that. Just to show.
Just curious.
It's more of a power. I mean, he's not a big kid, Cole. No. It's not an intimidation thing.
Nope. I know all about that.
Yeah. But no, yeah, we are excited to help young entrepreneurs. To circle back where we started this, we are excited. So if you happen to see this and you are a young entrepreneur and want a little bit of a shout out, a little bit of a, talking about your business and what's coming, please come join us. And
that's cool. Yeah, let's do that.
We want to know about your business.
If you're out there and you want to be here, message one of us.
Absolutely.
There's 700 ways to find us, including walking in the front door and saying, could I talk to Lee or Cole? I might forget to get back to you, but these guys won't. But walk in the front door,
Yeah.
have a conversation, and what it would take us really, we go long here because it's us, but
Yeah.
15 minutes.
Yeah, 15 minutes would be perfect. Just learning about who you are, why you decided to do it. Cole, you said you might have a couple of people that are around town doing some stuff, some high school boys, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
maybe something like that. And I'd love to talk to some young entrepreneur females too. Let's bring it on, and let's see what you guys are doing out there, because that's really what's shaping part of what we talked about with the teachers, is that there are how many millions of businesses with one person in them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they're making a living, and they're grinding, and they're doing their thing. And we want to help. Maybe you're looking for seed money for that next step. Maybe you're looking for something. Let us help.
Absolutely.
So, anything else, guys? We good?
Oh, there's so much that's going on my mind right now. Recap for next opportunities are going to be like, where are we going? What are we doing? We haven't talked about getting back from EFAT yet and what's going on in the international space, and Disciple being in Africa, finding opportunities right now, and then talking about just business and legacy and some of those things. We've had some of the S&S guys coming, so yeah, there's lots to talk about. So
how's Australia coming? We had a guy in from Australia. Is that doing okay?
Yeah, he's doing his thing now. He's got to figure out if he can make it work on his end. And
good.
I would say we're 85% across the board. It really just comes down to, is his business case going to work for Australia and for him?
Mm-hmm.
And I think he's excited about the opportunity. I think he's excited about OVIC and what it can do. And in the platform, the marketing, the business side of it really helps those new entrepreneurs launching, or even a company that already has systems in place, because it's an easy bolt-on, or it's an easy runway to launch from.
Yeah.
And so that's the beauty of it. That's why it's growing so fast.
Was that an EFAT contact or?
No, that one's actually been a couple years in the
Gotcha.
in the pressure cooker. So shout out to Australia.
Shout out to Australia.
There it is.
It started a couple years ago, and started on just a conversation. We chatted back and forth for a while, and I think he was working on getting his stuff ready and preparations on his end for his business, and then made the trip over to see what's going on, and really saw, he did his homework, talked to a lot of the installers, a lot of the certified network that's already out there, and got a lot of good information about what we have going on, saw the installation, and said, wow. And he's got confidence, because there's other products out there, going to the beginning of the conversation, that don't have training certification programs like we do. And so because we're contractors, we're a manufacturer for the contractors, by a contractor, it's just a little different flavor. The soup tastes way different.
Well, when you can see it work for how many other contractors in our network, I mean, that's got to give you a little bit of a good feeling when you go to launch this product. I mean, we're not going to let you fail.
Right.
Like, we will give you all the resources and knowledge, and
100%. 60 trucks around the world right now.
Yeah. We're on our way.
What's the infrastructure? Australia, 30,000 foot view.
Much like ours. So it's kind of a melting pot, just like the United States. So a lot of the people, when they were migrating out, either landed here or there. And so it's probably a little bit newer than ours. One of the things I learned from EFAT was, while we're rehabbing 80 to 100-year-old, 120-year-old infrastructure, Europe's rehabilitating 300 to 400-year-old infrastructure. And so Australia is much the same. In the eastern seaboard, where the majority of the population is, it's just like ours. It's got population density and it's got people problems and infrastructure problems.
And I will say the one thing that I learned from him when he was here is that there's like one group that controls a lot of the municipality in the bigger cities. So you have to be able to get in with them. And he said it's really hard. So what he's been doing is taking the work that other people think it's too much work, it's too much, might be a little risky. So he'll take that stuff just to try to get his foot in the door with that big company.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I think there's a little bit more of I don't know. You got to know somebody. I wouldn't say corruption per se, but you got to know somebody over there. It's a little bit different, a little bit harder to break in. So he's got to do the hard stuff first, get credibility, and then he'll get the other stuff.
It'd be like doing work in D.C., like doing work here in D.C. Like it's just hard. It's hard to do work in
those areas.
In those areas,
for sure.
They make it so hard. I think Chicago's kind of like that too, a little bit.
Yep.
Even if the product's really good. So, no, it's exciting stuff around the world right now, and we've got training going on in UK this week, again. So, yeah, it's.
We just got done training in Germany.
Yep.
Got more training in UK. Yeah, I'd love to tell you, but we got NDAs around the world.
Yeah. Yep. Got to stop you there. But no, good stuff, guys. So tune in. We've got some cool stuff planned, it sounds like. So, Cole, final thoughts?
Nope. That's it. Nope.
Good to go.
All right, Cole. Well, thank him for coming back to the podcast. You got a pen.
And then
Do
throw
the honors.
something to the camera.